I'm exceptionally excited. And I want to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Popkin. Most of you know me as the Rock Doc or the Hockey Doc. He starts to talk about this super secret product that he can't tell me about. And I'm like, well, why would you tell me about it if you can't tell me about it? So he says, it's fantastic, it's wonderful. I'm like, you got to tell me something. He says, I can't tell anybody. I said, David, I'm the guy you can tell. And he did. It was quite exciting, and we both thought the same thing. We said, listen, if you are going to create a product that never existed, to treat a problem that never existed, you better be right about it. And that's why I'm here. We're researching this product as we speak, and we're all very, very excited about it. Very excited. This is the horrible statistic. 60 to 70% of Americans are classified as obese, and 50% of Americans are either diabetic or pre-diabetic. That's a horrible number. Half of all Americans have diabetes or pre-diabetes. That's extraordinary, and we've created this. We have created this with our diet, with the American diet, and this has to change. This has to change. So let's get down to it, though. The reason I'm here is glyphosate. Glyphosate has been in our food since the 1970s, and we've been poisoned by this ever since, but it isn't really until recently that it's come into the forefront, and glyphosate is without a doubt the enemy. Glyphosate is the product in Monsanto's Roundup, and unfortunately what Roundup is it's a pesticide, it's an herbicide, and it is a crop desiccant, so it's sprayed on the crops before it's harvested to help it dry. And the problem is it gets baked right in. We grind it up, we make it into food, and then we eat it. So it's in all of our food products, yet we don't really realize this because it's not listed on the label. Nobody says your product has X amount of parts per million of glyphosate. So we're not being told this, which is a real shame. Simply put, the gut biome is the barrier between the environment and the inside of our body. We eat foods, we drink liquids, we unfortunately take in pesticides, and this gut biome is supposed to protect us. It's a single layer of cells, so it's very delicate. It has little finger-like projections called villi, and they reach out and they grab the nutrients. And it's surrounded by healthy gut bacteria, which act as soldiers to help modify the foods as it's going by, to help get rid of the toxins and the poisons, to help keep the bad things out. But unfortunately, glyphosate, the same mechanism that glyphosate uses to kill weeds and pesticides, weeds and bugs and so forth, kills the gut bacteria. So when we lose the gut bacteria, we lose that defense. And then we cause gut inflammation, and unfortunately, it causes numerous problems in our body. The problems that are caused are gut inflammation, increased gut permeability, and decreased immune function. And this is really a problem because, as Dave mentioned, a lot of good stuff happens in our gut, and we really do want to protect it. Let's talk about gut inflammation. Unfortunately, what happens is when the gut gets inflamed, that inflammation goes systemic, and it gets into the rest of our body. And when it gets into the rest of our body, it aggravates every other medical problem that you may have: diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, asthma, emphysema, gout, arthritis, depression, anxiety, sleep problems, cancer. So we really don't want inflammation in our gut, and we especially don't want it in our body. But when we damage the gut biome, this is exactly what happens. Increased gut permeability. What happens with the increased gut permeability is when you get rid of the gut bacteria and you damage those villi and you damage the cells, you can no longer protect your inside environment from the external environment, and toxins get in, and toxins leak into the body, and this is what's called leaky gut syndrome. And unfortunately, with leaky gut syndrome, you see a lot of problems with inflammatory bowel disease, Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, numerous immune function problems. We don't want gut inflammation. We don't want systemic inflammation. We certainly don't want increased gut permeability. Most of the body's neurotransmitters are actually made or manipulated in the gut. This is why many times when you have problems with the gut, you have psychiatric problems like anxiety, depression, other problems like sleep disorders, mood disorders. So we really want to protect the neurotransmitters. 70% to 80% of our body's immune system is in our gut. This is huge. So even a small impact on our gut can have a huge impact on our immune system. Our immune system helps to fight infection and cancer. This brings us to our product, BIome Medic. Now, Dave talked about this. This is very, very exciting. When he told me about it, it was super secret. Couldn't tell me a lot of the things. I got a lot of it out of him, and then here we are doing a research study on it. Humic fulvic compounds, what they do is humic fulvic compounds chelate the glyphosate out of your body. It pulls it out like a sponge. We don't want glyphosate in our system. We want to pull it out, and humic fulvic compounds are natural. They're not chemicals. They're not pharmaceuticals. It's not something that's going to hurt your body. This is a very good thing to pull the glyphosate out of your body. Then we want to repair the gut biome, that bacteria. So we have prebiotics and probiotics that help re-inoculate your gut and help to support your gut function. This is unheard of. There is no product out there that has these components in it. Again, we've created something that does not exist to take care of a problem that we never knew of. This is the excitement about being part of a company like this, because this is very foresight thinking, looking into the future and saying, how can we correct, how can we fix these problems? And one of the things that we're going to need is we're going to need everybody in this room and all the people on your team to help support and help to get this out to as many people as possible. And as I said earlier, we're all in a very unique position here, because you could make simple changes to your diet. You could make simple changes to the things that you bring into your body. You can supplement yourself with the Purium products, but you can also help your family, your friends, your coworkers, and they can help other people. And that's how we can really affect change. And that's a very, very powerful thing. So I'm glad to be part of this, as I know you guys are too.